write 9 words. It's so simple. One of them is fine. You see, the missus uses this word to end an argument when she knows she's right and I just need to shut up. Fine. Another one is 5 minutes. If the missus is getting ready to go out and, she's fixing her hair, putting on her makeup, 5 minutes is really 30 minutes. 5 minutes is only 5 minutes when I'm watching the hockey game and she wants me to do something for her. Then it's 5 minutes. And then there's the word nothing. Nothing is the calm before the storm. What's wrong? Nothing. Nothing, listen to me, nothing means something. So you better be on your guard if nothing comes. And then it's like, go ahead. Go ahead. Listen, this is not permission. If your missus says to you, go ahead, that's not permission. Don't do it. That's the most wicked threat that you can get. And then there's the loud saw. You know that one you're doing something and you hear this? That's actually a word. A loud sigh. It means she thinks you're an idiot. And she wonders why she's even wasting her time arguing with you. And then there's the one, that's okay. That's okay. That's one of the most dangerous statements your missus can make. That's okay. What that means is she's thinking long and hard about how she's going to make you pay for how long for the mistake that you made. That's okay. And then she'll come up with thanks. Now listen, if your missus says thanks, just say, you're welcome. Don't say anything else. Don't respond. Don't add anything to it. Just, you're welcome. Now if she says thanks a lot, don't say anything. Don't say a word that's the most sarcastic thing that she's going to say to you that day. And if she says to you, don't worry about it, I got it. Don't worry about it, I got it. That means that this is something she has told you several times to do and now she's just going to do it herself. Don't worry about it. I got it. That will later result in a what's wrong followed by a nothing. Some things you go shopping, you maybe awake, this time of year, lots of anniversaries coming up, birthdays, Christmas coming sometime around, and you're going to go out and shop for your wife. Shopping for your wife, guys, is one of the most stressful things you're going to do. You will experience stress levels like that of a fighter pilot when you're trying to shop for your wife. No matter what you do, most times you're not going to come out on a good end. I am a veteran, dysfunctional spousal shopper. I messes it up all the time. Here's some things not to buy when you go shopping for your missus. Don't buy anything that plugs in. She's going to see that as just a utility that's going to be used for you. I had to buy mine one time, bought his wife an electric bag sealer. For Christmas. Electric bag sealer. The woman didn't even do preserves. Electric bag sealer. She said, what in the world am I going to do with electric bag sealer? And then don't buy clothes that involve size. You're never going to get it right. Because here's what happens if you buy it and it's too big. She's going to look at you and say, I haven't worn that size in how long? And if you buy it and it's too small, you can't win with that one. Don't buy anything that involves size. You only got one chance in 7,000 of getting it right. Don't buy anything that involves weight loss or self-improvement. She will see that as you're saying something that you may have no intention of saying. Don't buy jewelry. The jewelry that she wants, you can't afford. And the jewelry that you can afford, she don't want. So don't buy jewelry. And don't fall into this. Don't fall into the traditional trap of buying her frilly nightgowns and undergarments and all that kind of stuff. Your idea of the kind of thing that she should wear, and her idea of the kind of thing that she should wear, are light years apart. So I'm going to finish up now with this. One missus, she's a fine woman, she's a handsome woman. We've been married now 31 years next month. She's a fine woman, put up with a lot for me over the years. She's handsome, her gorgeosity is unreal. She won the Miss Squid contest a few years ago when she was a young woman. Gorgeous, gorgeous woman. So whenever we get into a problem, we ever hit some rough spots, you know, one of the things I always does is I tells her a love story. Love story always goes over it. So I'm going to tell you the love story that I tells her. And so guys, if you write it down every time you hit a bad spot, you just sit down and tell her this story. And it will smooth out the water. I mean, you will have her eating it in your hand. I mean, she'd be like putty in your hands, no problem. So this is my final and most important bit of advice for you. And then, so you want to write it down. So here's the story. Really what the story is, have you all heard the story of Cinderella? No? Yeah. Boy, you fellas been living under a rock for about 40 years. Cinderella, so this is the Newfoundland version of Cinderella. Here we go. Once upon a time, in a corn country, there lived a very beautiful girl, and her name was Cinderella. And in this same corn country, there was a very prince of hints. And this prince of hints was going to have a fancy fall. So he invited the people for rouse and mound, especially the pitch people. So Rindestella, smugly other than her two sad misters, couldn't go to the fancy fall because all they had to wear was some old Ernie days. So finally, the night of the fancy fall arrived, and Rindestella couldn't go, so she just kept there and tried. And she was kicking there, crying, when all at once there appeared before her Gary Mudfather. And she touched her with her magic man, and there appeared before her a heap boats and heaps white horses to take her to the fancy fall. So when Rindestella arrived at the fancy fall, the Prince of Hints met her at the door because he'd been watching behind the window. And they danced all night until midnight, and they lay in fog. Finally, the mid-clock struck night, and Rindestella staced down the rares, and just as she beats the rod, she slopped her dripper. And so the next day, this Prince of Hints went all over this corn country looking for this beautiful girl who slopped her dripper. Finally, he came to Rindestella's house, and he tried it on her smugly other, and it fitted in. Then he tried it on her two sad misters, and it fitted in. Then he tried it on Rindestella, and it fitted in. It was exactly the same rise, and so they were married and lived happily after afterwards. And the story of the Maury is this: if you want to have a Prince of Hints lulled in love with you, don't forget to slap your dripper.